I must be crazy, hallucinated. I'm living, breathing.
What is up, everybody? You join me on another episode of The Curtis Zone. I, of course, am your humble and handsome host, Dylan J. Curtis, and we do nothing but thank you and welcome you and ask that you hit that like and subscribe button. Today's episode of The Curtis Zone, I will be talking about all of the shows that are also trading card games or just games, period. And we got a lot of them to go over, but I want to thank you guys for joining me. And remember, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to leave a request, leave it in the comment section down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Now remember, we cannot give you any episode until we give you some news. And here's some news from the world of Prime. You see, the Prime original series, The Boys, has been delayed due to scheduling conflicts, seeing as though Carl Urban, who plays Billy Butcher, is going to be in Mortal Kombat 2. Now, nothing is set in stone on an official release date, but we can't wait nonetheless. Another piece of news is for you guys. Alright, we've been hearing mixed reviews about the Knights of the Zodiac film, but I want to hear from all of you what you thought of Knights of the Zodiac. Was it better than Dragon Ball Evolution, or was it worse? Leave it in the comment section down below and I will get back to you, okay? Did they crap all over the source material, or did they do not such a bad job? Leave it in the comment section down below. The final piece of news I'm going to give to you guys is that we keep hearing more and more about the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League video game. Nothing is set in stone on an official release date due to the fact that James Gunn has taken over and he keeps delaying everything. Nothing is set in stone, but we can't wait nonetheless. Can you wait? Leave it in the comment section down below whether or not you can wait. And now, let's get into this countdown episode. Now, for those of you who do not know, this is not an official countdown. None of these have been ranked in any way, shape, or form. But if you want to rank them, leave it in the comment section down below. Also, remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's talk about the first one, okay? The first series we're going to talk about is Beat 'em on Crossfire. In this series, a group of kids use these things called bee animals to perform in this game called Crossfire. The game is no different from the show. You have to use these bee animals to fire these marbles and perform these things called trick shots. However, the only difference is the trick shots do not have actual animals coming out of them in the game as they do in the show. Other than that, it's a pretty fun game and I highly recommend it. Like I said, it is an anime. Another show that was turned into a game is Battle Claw. In the series, a team of teenagers had to put together monsters that are made of metal, wood, fire, earth, and water. In the game, it's no different. You have to put together creatures that are made of metal, wood, fire, earth, water, and use these cards in order to battle against your opponent. No different from the game, no different from the TV series. I liked it, you'll like it. I recommend you watch it. The next one we're going to talk about is known as Beyblade. Everyone who remembers Beyblade knows the gist of the game. You use these discs to spin them out onto a board, and the last disc standing is the winner. The series is a little different because the discs actually utilize animals and or monsters to fight against their opponents. Must investigate this further. Anyway, Beyblade is actually one of the most awesome games that I ever had the pleasure of playing with my brothers, and I liked it ever since. I recommend you buy it. The next series we're going to talk about is Kaijudo. Kaijudo and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are a lot alike in the sense that you have to lay down monsters in order to defeat your opponent. Each monster is more powerful than the other. Each monster has the same power level. But the difference from Kaijudo and Yu-Gi-Oh! In the series is that in Kaijudo, the series, you use summoning katas in order to summon a monster, whereas Yu-Gi-Oh! You have to lay down cards. But I like Kaijudo over Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, they're about the same. The next series / game we're going to talk about is Redakai Conquer the Kairu and Redakai Lokar Shadow. Now, the difference between Redakai and every other game is that you use an X reader and all these sorts of X drives, which contain powerful monsters and different types of attacks. Each monster is different, and each monster has different attacks. Now, the difference between the attacks is that they all have different colors. Red attacks are about attacking with a powerful punch. Basically, they're strength attacks. Then there's green attacks, which are all about speed, basically about moving fast, which is pretty cool if you ask me. And finally, there are blue attacks, which attack your opponent's mind. I love Redakai, the series, and I love the game. Can't wait for you guys to see it. The next one we're going to talk about is Monsuno. Now, Monsuno is a lot like Bakugan, because you have to launch monsters outside of these little tube things and use gaming cards as well. The most notable monsters are Locke, Evo, Quick Force, Deep Six, the list goes on. Now, there are no different types of attacks, but there are different types of attacks for each monster. What I'm saying is that it's not like Redakai where you have to use different types of strength, speed, and mind attacks, but basically they're attacks for the monsters. Monsuno, I'm currently binge watching, so I will give you a history of very soon. The next game we're going to talk about is Bakugan Battle Brawlers. Anyone knows about Bakugan due to the fact that, well, it's been around a really long time. Basically, you have to throw these little balls that are also monsters and use gaming cards in order to activate their abilities. Now, the series was no different, but the difference is that the monsters were actually real and they talked. It is in a Japanese anime, you know. I loved it. You'll love it. I'm doing history of on it. If you want more, just let me know. The next anime we're going to talk about is the anime that people were talking about longer than Pokemon, and that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, everyone knows the gist of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a game of both strategy, skill, and mental discipline. Now, it requires you to use all sorts of different monsters, magic cards, spell cards, trap cards, and of course, the Egyptian god cards. Now, my favorite episode from any Yu-Gi-Oh! Mythos, now there have been many different tellings of Yu-Gi-Oh! There's Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, but my favorite episode is when in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX when the main character had to use Yami Yugi's old deck. I loved it, you'll love it, we'll all talk about it soon. The final trading card game turned show we're going to talk about is Pokemon. Everybody knows Pokemon. Everybody knows that you gotta catch them all, because it is the most talked about game due to the fact it was the first game turned into an anime. I know the gist of it, you know the gist of it. We're gonna talk about that some other time. But the best part about Pokemon is the movies. That's the only thing I ever watched. I did watch the show, but the movies, I have to admit, were way better. Pokemon is the most talked about, most anticipated anime that we've all loved.
And just like that, another episode of the Curtis Zone comes to a close, ladies and gentlemen. Now, remember, if you want to see more of me and of my bouncing packs, just hit that like and subscribe button, all right? And we want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, Coastal Waste and Recycling. Okay? Now, if you want to have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to leave a request for a history of episode, leave it in the comment section down below. I will get back to you, okay? And remember what we said earlier about Knights of the Zodiac. Leave it in the comment section. Was it better or worse than Dragon Ball Evolution? Okay? Can't wait to read your comments. Can't wait to get back to you. Thank you guys so much.